Hello everyone. I hope as the new year is rapidly approaching, you are all doing well and feeling very clear about the upcoming new year and what you want to bring into the new year as well, and what you would like to let go of from 2014. This is a wonderful time to do some real soul searching and also a lot of self-care and self-love and forgiveness as well towards yourself for times that you have thought perhaps you have failed or haven't lived up to a certain idea that you had for yourself and your experience. And so this is really a time when we can find the lesson and the beauty in our perceived failures, and also the highs and the joy of everything that's happened this year that has been a beautiful, wonderful experience for us, and miracles in a lot of ways that we've experienced as well. So, this video has been highly requested, and I made some notes for it like probably 6 months ago now, and then it just went out of my head, and I was speaking with one of you on the phone, I think 2 weeks ago now, maybe 3, and one of you asked if I would please do this video, and I thought this is the time to do it, and must have been meant to wait until now, and this is really a good time of year, the winter season, to spend a lot of time doing this type of working as far as on our spiritual journey with the cards. So what we're going to be talking about today is pathworking, and I'm really going to be focusing on using tarot for this pathworking experience, but you are more than welcome to use oracle cards for this. In fact, it's really interchangeable as far as what images in the cards you want to use with pathworking. It's not something that's strictly just for tarot. You can use this for oracle as well. Our main focus with pathworking is really coming to a deeper understanding of the card itself through an actual journey that you're taking with the card image. And lots of other tarot people on YouTube and people in the pagan community have done pathworking videos, so be sure to check those out too, because all of us have different experiences, and it's really great to get a lot of different viewpoints as you start on this journey with pathworking. Pathworking has been one of the most powerful tools for me in connecting with my deck, especially card images, card numbers that I have a difficult time with, or that I feel some resistance to the image or the title or the feeling I get when I look at that card. So pathworking is a very valuable tool in helping us to kind of break through our resistance and actually just be open to exploring and experiencing the card itself and the meaning that it has for consciousness, as the human consciousness as a whole. So I have found especially cards like Justice and Judgment in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith depiction, pathworking with those cards has really helped me to come to a much more rounded, positive way of looking at the card. And by positive, I don't mean that I'm ignoring the darkness, or what we would like to call darkness, associated with this image, but I mean positive as far as I'm not attaching any preconceived ideas and parts of my human experience to those cards, because I have spent the time with that card in pathworking and really come to a deeper appreciation for the card itself. I think pathworking also really helps you to develop an intimate relationship with the deck itself as well. So everyone has their own way of looking at tarot or just cards in general, and what the purpose of the cards are and the experience of the card is. And there's no wrong or right way of looking at it. It's individual to each of us. And at its heart, it truly is a tool to help us through this human experience, understanding the human experience and helping us to heal and look at, to heal the wounded parts of our being, but to look at and appreciate and understand the divinity of our beings. And the unique perspective we've all come to experience in our lives through these cards. But for me, from the very beginning, when I picked up my first deck of tarot cards, I've had a very tangible relationship with each individual card. And so to me, they really are a collective tool of 78 cards that were created with an intention. But they've taken on a life of their own, and I really have a very personal experience with each image. And pathworking is part of, an integral part of that process for me with each and every deck that I own and that I choose to work with. Getting to know the deck intimately through pathworking is a way that the deck really comes alive to you. And so if you are someone who is a reader for other people besides just yourself, I think it's an integral part of the process of being comfortable enough with your deck to be able to give very effective healing readings for other people as well as yourself. If you are someone who just reads for yourself, pathworking is incredibly powerful and is going to take on a very personal meaning for you as well when you undertake these journeys. I feel that pathworking is different from guided meditation with the cards, and I do have a few guided meditations using tarot cards, and you can check that out on my YouTube channel if you're interested in looking at those. I think I have a separate playlist for those. But I feel that pathworking is actually different from a guided meditation because you don't have someone giving you the journey or speaking the journey for you or leading you on the steps. Pathworking is really extremely free form, and it's about interacting with your imagination and the image itself and letting it take you wherever you want it to take you. So that can feel kind of scary. If you're not someone who feels comfortable using their imagination or interacting with their intuition, especially if you were someone who grew up in a home where that really was not valued and that was really cut down in you. You were expressing yourself through your imagination. So this is actually an incredibly healing undertaking, pathworking with the cards, because it's really encouraging you to interact with and allow your imagination and your intuition to grow and to blossom. And that in and of itself is an integral part in reading the cards, because you do have to be able to listen to and trust your intuition and your imagination in order to really get into the meat of a reading. So you might find that this is a little scary at first, pathworking. But the more that you do it, the more comfortable you'll get with it, and you'll really see that there's a deep benefit to pathworking as part of your spiritual practice. So it is worth any discomfort you feel at the beginning, and be very gentle and loving with yourself and allow yourself to take a step back whenever you need to. Don't force yourself to keep going through a journey if it really feels very scary and uncomfortable for you. The other thing that I would say before I really talk about pathworking, even though I have been talking about pathworking for 8 minutes now, is that I personally like to set up my pathworking by doing some meditation first and really creating a sense of sacred space for myself. So I like to have certain stones around me as well as the card itself that I'm going to be working with. I really like to light some candles, have some incense going, just creating a feeling for myself of taking a step back from this physical realm and my daily concerns and really just stepping into sacred space. So you might find that that's something that's beneficial for you as well, and that really adds another layer to your spiritual practice. And I also really do like to do meditation before I start my pathworking. So I like to feel very grounded, so I'll do a brief grounding meditation and really allow myself as much time as I need to just connect with my breath and to feel very comfortable and relaxed before I start the actual pathworking itself. So as time has gone on, especially when working with cards that I do have some resistance to, I have found it helpful at times to kind of have an intention for my pathworking before I begin. But this is not necessary. In fact, most of the time I don't set an intention. I just let the journey take me where it will. But if there's something I want to explore with the card, then I will set that intention at the beginning of my pathworking and then just let it go and allow the journey to take me wherever it is, so that I can have an understanding of whatever it is that I wish to create a deeper experience with. So for instance, with the Judgment card, back when I first started doing pathworking with the Judgment card, I really wanted to understand why I felt such dread at that word judgment. Why did I feel so afraid of that word? And so that was an intention that I did set with that card, that I wanted to have a clear understanding through this journey of why I was so afraid of that word. And I had a very powerful experience with that. So pathworking is something that you can set an intention with, even though you're not going to be stepping into a guided meditation. This is really free form for your imagination and your intuition. You can feel free to set an intention if you wish at the beginning of your pathworking. At least that's been my experience with pathworking. When you first start to do this, you might not want to choose the card you feel the most resistance to in the deck. You might want to choose a card that feels very beautiful and loving and kind and gentle for you, or a card that really excites you and that you're really interested in. I would encourage you to allow the pathworking when you start to be something that's really joyous for you and a fun experience. So don't step right into the heavy stuff if that feels very daunting for you. I'm just going to show you some images from the Japri Tarot while I talk. So the whole point of a pathworking is to actually step into the image in the card itself and then see what else happens from that small confined image that you're actually looking at. So here's the Nine of Gardens, or the Nine of Pentacles. So we can see that the borders are cutting off the entire image for us. We're holding just a picture, a snapshot of the Nine of Gardens. The picture itself is actually infinite, just as we are. And so this isn't just an image frozen in time, it's actually a whole world that you can step into. And that's the purpose of pathworking. And that's really how you want to approach these cards when you're working with pathworking. That you're stepping into an infinite experience and that there's no limits on whatever comes up or whatever happens. So it is helpful to actually have the image in front of you, which is why I do like to create sacred space, because then I have a beautiful setting to place the card itself. So it's the whole experience for me. It really is about that. So if you're someone who appreciates the experience, then creating sacred space is going to be a beneficial part of pathworking. But after you are grounded and you've begun your meditation, or you've at least disconnected from your daily life, you do want to have the image in front of you so that you can either be looking at it or really have spent some time gazing at it before you close your eyes, so that you can hold that image in your mind's eye for the purpose of the pathworking itself. So once you have created the sacred space and created the sense of grounding, it's then time to interact with the image itself. So again, you want to either be staring at the image or really have a firm handle on the image itself before you close your eyes. And then you actually want to just step into the image and allow the experience to unfold. And this is where it really is a very personal journey. So you don't have any way of saying what's going to happen beforehand to make it safe, and I would encourage you not to do that. Instead, I would encourage you to just step into the image itself. So for some of us, that's really easy to do. I say step into the image, and you can feel yourself starting to step into this image. So you can start to smell the flowers and see the beautiful sky above you. Feel the breeze from the the lady's fan. See the pink and the orange of the flamingo behind her, and just really step into that image and feel yourself being there. For some of us, that's really hard to do. So I would encourage you to, again, take it slow for yourself and allow yourself to focus on the area in the picture that feels the best for you, that feels the most real, that you can actually imagine yourself stepping into and actually seeing and touching that image itself. So if it is just the flowers blooming in the background, or even just maybe the serpent that you see here, whatever it is that feels the most alive to you, allow yourself to reach out and touch that image in your mind's eye. So again, this is where you have to be slow and very gentle with yourself. If you've really kept a tight rein on your intuition and your imagination and not allowed yourself to feel comfortable with expressing it, you might really just only be able to get as far as touching the scales on the serpent. And that's okay, that's not wrong. You're starting the pathworking. And that's just as real of a journey as someone who can just step right into this image and actually take a journey. So you're taking just as much of a journey as someone who can completely interact with this world as if it were as real as the physical realm that our bodies are currently occupying. So it's all about taking the baby steps until you reach the comfort level of experiencing an entire journey through the card image itself. And you know, it really is that simple. It's just about stepping into the image and letting it take you where it's going to take you. So allow yourself to take baby steps if this feels like a really daunting task. And again, if all you do is just actually really imagine touching the scales on that serpent, or feeling the feathers on the flamingo, or feeling the breeze of that fan that the lady is holding in the Nine of Gardens, then you have done a pathworking. It's your pathworking. A pathworking is individual and unique to each of us, and it's our own experience and is honored as such. It's not to be taken as less than anybody's experience. It's completely your own. As you get more comfortable with pathworking, you can really just allow, no holds barred, and allow it to take you wherever it's going to take you. And it can be very real. You can meet other people besides just the person in the image of the Nine of Gardens to continue using that card. You'll interact with different animals, different plant species. You can take a physical journey across time and space in this image when you step into it. So it's really, it becomes quite spectacular and amazing, and you do find when you resurface from this journey that there is an empowerment that comes with the experience and a deeper understanding of yourself as well as tarot and its structure. So really what I would encourage you to do with pathworking is to step into sacred space, be very grounded, feel safe in the space that you're in. And as long as through the grounding process your intention is that the experience be beneficial and be beautiful, there's nothing negative that can happen to you on a pathworking journey. I am someone who feels like when you do a pathworking, you actually are stepping into a different realm, and it's just as real as the physical realm. So for some people, when they hear that, that feels scary for them, and they think, well, what if something negative attacks me in that space? We attract what we put out. So if you're putting out a feeling of fear, then that's going to be your experience. But if you're feeling very grounded, very aware, and just open to the experience, then there isn't going to be an interaction that affects you negatively in that space. Even if it's it's a very emotional experience, or it's a conversation you're having with an energy that really cuts down to the heart of some of your own woundings, it's not a negative experience. That is beneficial for you. It's time for you to bring that up to be healed in the physical body as well as the spiritual, emotional, and mental bodies as well. So I don't want anyone to get into a space of fear with this. Pathworking is something that is spiritual, it's beneficial, and it's a beautiful experience. It really helps you to open up and interact with your imagination and your intuition, and to really incorporate that into your being and into your daily experience and your practice. However you choose to look at the cards fitting into your own practice and your own path. So pathworking itself is deeply beneficial. It's something that I did from the beginning of working with the cards, and that I feel is an integral part of my experience with the cards. I do pathworking all the time. And you'll get to the point with some of your decks where you're comfortable enough that you don't even need the physical image before you can just call up that card and walk into it whenever you need to. So you'll find that this becomes really exciting, and I encourage you to journal about your experiences, because it helps you to remember the experiences, remember what you brought back from that journey as well. And that can be really, really encouraging and invigorating and exciting as time, or our perception of time goes by, to see where you started with pathworking and where it's taken you. You'll find as you do pathworking, if it feels good for you and it's something you want to incorporate into your own path, that you'll meet spirit guides. You may meet angels if you align with working with angels. You will meet powerful energetic beings that have chosen the realm of the tarot card to actually interact with you, and it can be a lot of fun. So what I really hope you take away from this video, and I do hope it's been clear for you all, And please message me any further questions that come up. But what pathworking really is actually stepping into this image beyond the borders of the card and allowing the journey to take you wherever it will. So as you step into this image, once you get comfortable with really being able to feel yourself stepping into the image, there will be the garden. There will also be landscapes beyond the garden in the Nine of Gardens, and journeys beyond this that you'll be able to travel into and have a unique experience with the energy of the Nine of Gardens herself. So, a key theme you might end up exploring through these realms is that of independence. And it's really about giving your imagination free rein to take you wherever you need to go out of this card and into the actual realm and universe that that card is holding, and that the card has to tell us. Not tell us, share with us as an experience. So this is really powerful, and it's very exciting, and it's why I highly recommend to anyone who either studies tarot with me or who has a conversation with me about tarot that they incorporate pathworking as part of their relationship with the cards themselves. So it's as simple as having the card before you and then stepping into the card. That's really where the journey takes you with pathworking. It's about your journey. I can't give you a guided meditation and have that be the same as a pathworking. This has to be about you stepping into it. So allow whatever happens to happen. Just go with it. Don't hold it back unless you really feel unsafe and that you need to remove yourself from the card. But really try to give yourself free rein and just explore whatever comes up in that space. You might find that you yourself look different when you enter into the Nine of Gardens or the Hanged Man or whatever card it is you choose to work with at a pathworking level. But it's really about allowing your imagination and your intuition free rein. So you don't need anything to do this besides just the tarot deck itself or the oracle deck. You don't have to have any fancy paraphernalia or do any certain type of meditation to begin with. Like I said, I find that a brief meditation, at least a few minutes, just to allow myself to disconnect and feel very grounded and in sacred space is the best way that I experience pathworking. It's the best setup and the best way for re-entry. Because I feel like I do leave the physical body when I do this type of work. And so I like that time before to prepare and then the time to re-enter after the pathworking back into the physical body and to feel grounded and safe in the physical body as well, so that I don't, trip over my feet when I step out of my room after doing a deep pathworking. So I encourage you to explore meditating before and after briefly, but that is something that's up to you and your practice and what feels right for you. This is really all about you and the card itself. So I hope that this has given some clarity for you all on your journey with pathworking. Again, it's one of the techniques, one of the tools with tarot that I most highly recommend to people is pathworking. You're going to have a deep, intimate connection with those cards the more time you spend with them, and it's going to feel like more of a spiritual tool when we interact with and are able to heal ourselves through journeys like pathworking with the cards. So I hope this has given you all a jumping off point with pathworking. Again, if I forgot to cover something or something doesn't feel clear enough, please shoot me a message. This is viewer request, as I said, so I hope I've been clear for you. The Four Queens also has an amazing video on pathworking as well, so check her out. And I know that there are several other tarot readers and pagan practitioners who do have pathworking videos as well, so make sure to go check those out too. And really allow it to be, again, about your relationship with the card itself and just exploring that relationship and that experience and that realm. And the more that you interact with pathworking, the deeper, the more magical, the more exciting the journey becomes. So I'm wishing you all many blessings. Happy New Year, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.